The soft hum of medical equipment filled the air as Dr. James Walker moved through the pristine white corridors of the UH Mercy. His footsteps echoed against the polished floor as he made his morning rounds. The hospital ship was Earth's pride, a massive vessel dedicated to healing any species that needed help, no questions asked. Through the large observation window, stars stretched endlessly into the darkness of space. The ship's exterior lights illuminated its distinctive red cross marking, a symbol recognized across the galaxy as a sign of help and hope. Dr. Walker paused to check on a patient, a blue-skinned trader who had suffered severe radiation burns when his engine core leaked. The alien's vital signs were stable, showing good improvement after 3 days of treatment. "How are you feeling today?" he asked, keeping his voice gentle. The alien's translator crackled. "Much better, Doctor. My people, we didn't expect humans to know how to treat us." Walker smiled. He heard that a lot these days. Most species didn't expect much from Earth's medical capabilities, but that was slowly changing. "Rest well," he said, making a note in his digital chart. "You should be ready for discharge tomorrow." The ship's intercom system suddenly came to life. Dr. Walker to the bridge. Emergency consultation required. When he arrived at the bridge 5 minutes later, Captain Linda Thomas was standing at the main viewport, her gray hair pulled back in a tight bun, her uniform crisp despite the late hour of her shift. The massive screen before her showed a sector of space lit up with weapons fire. "What do we have?" Walker asked, moving to stand beside her. "Distress calls. Lots of them." Thomas pointed to the tactical display. "Major battle in the Centauri border zone. Current estimates suggest over 2,000 wounded, multiple species involved." Walker studied the data scrolling across the screen. The numbers were bad. Really bad. "That's more than we can handle alone." "We're the only hospital ship within response range," Thomas said, her face grim. "The UH Hope is 3 days out, minimum." The tactical officer, John Reed, spoke up from his station. "Captain, I'm picking up active weapons signatures. The fighting isn't over." "Regulations state we shouldn't enter an active combat zone," Walker reminded them, though the words tasted bitter in his mouth. They all knew what happened to wounded left untreated too long. Some species had biology that human medicine barely understood. Time was always against them. Captain Thomas straightened her shoulders. "Doctor, if we don't go in, how many die waiting for help?" Walker did the math in his head. Even with their advanced stasis units, the survival rates after 3 days would be abysmal. "Too many." Thomas nodded once, decision made. "Plot a course, Mr. Reed. Maximum speed. And send word to any other medical ships in range. We're going to need backup." "The Mercy isn't a warship," Reed pointed out. "Our shields are basic at best." "No," Thomas agreed, "but we're a hospital ship. Under galactic law, firing on us is a war crime. Even pirates generally leave us alone." She turned to Walker. "Doctor, get your teams ready. This is what the Mercy was built for." Walker was already moving. His mind raced through inventory lists. Plasma, regeneration units, surgical bays. They had enough supplies for routine operations and typical emergencies, but a battle this size. He activated his comm unit as he walked. "All medical personnel, this is Dr. Walker. Emergency Protocol 7. I repeat, Emergency Protocol 7. All off-duty staff report to their stations. Begin prepping all surgical bays and trauma units. This is not a drill." The Mercy's engines hummed louder as the ship accelerated. Through the corridors, Walker could hear the organized chaos of a hospital preparing for mass casualties. Equipment being moved, supplies being counted, beds being prepared. His team was good, the best Earth had to offer. As he reached the medical bay, Walker took a deep breath. They had no idea what they were about to face, what mix of species and injuries they would need to treat. But that was the job. That was why the Mercy existed. "Status report," he called out to his assembled staff. "All trauma bays ready," his head nurse reported. Stasis units prepped, triage teams standing by. Walker looked at the determined faces around him. Humans had come a long way from their first steps into space. Now they were out here, healing species they hadn't even known existed a century ago. Right then, he said, let's go save some lives. The HFY dropped out of faster-than-light travel into a scene of devastation. The battlefield spread out before them like a grim painting. Pieces of destroyed ships filled the space around them, some still glowing hot from weapons fire. Emergency beacons blinked in the darkness, their weak signals crying for help. My God, Captain Thomas whispered from her command chair. The viewing screen showed the full extent of the destruction. At least 30 ships of various sizes had been torn apart in the battle. Escape pods and survival craft drifted among the wreckage. Dr. Walker stood beside her, his face pale but determined. How many life signs? Officer Reed worked his sensors quickly. Hundreds, maybe thousands. Many are weak. Some escape pods have damage to their life support systems. Launch rescue shuttles, Thomas ordered. Priority to the pods with failing life support. Doctor, your team's ready. Walker nodded. They had prepared as much as they could during the short journey. All medical bays standing by. We've converted the cargo holds into emergency wards. The first shuttle returned within minutes. Walker rushed to the main airlock with his triage team. The shuttle's door opened to reveal 6 injured aliens of 3 different species. One, a tall creature with crystalline skin, had deep cracks running across its body. Another, smaller being seemed to be leaking a purple fluid that Walker recognized as their version of blood. Move, move, Walker directed his team. Get the crystalline one to Bay 3. We need to prevent further fracturing. The purple bleeder goes to immediate surgery. Hour after hour, the shuttles brought more wounded. The Mercy's halls, usually quiet and orderly, now echoed with the sounds of dozens of species in pain. Medical staff rushed between beds, checking vital signs on equipment specially calibrated for different alien biologies. Walker had just finished treating a severe plasma burn when his comm unit buzzed. Doctor, called one of his nurses, we have a situation in Ward 4. He found 2 patients arguing, their translator unit struggling to keep up. One was tall and scaled, the other short with metallic skin. Both had been on opposite sides of the battle. He is enemy, the scaled one hissed. His kind attacked our colony ships. The metallic being's surface rippled with anger patterns. Your forces struck first. You violated the neutral zone. Walker stepped between them. On this ship, there are no enemies, he said firmly. There are only patients. If you can't accept that, we'll put you in separate wards, but you'll both receive the same care. Both aliens fell silent, seemingly surprised by the human's directness. Your people, the metallic one said finally, you treat all of us the same. Even after you what? Walker asked. Your colony ships. Last year, our forces drove them from the Arcturus sector. Walker remembered the incident. Several human colonies had been forced to evacuate. That doesn't matter here, he said. You're both hurt. You both need help. That's all we care about. The scaled alien made a sound that its translator didn't catch. Strange creatures, humans, in battle, you retreat so easily. But here, we don't retreat at all. Walker finished. He checked both their medical charts. Now, both of you need rest. The war stays outside these walls. Back on the bridge, Captain Thomas was tracking a new concern. Doctor, we've got an unidentified ship at the edge of our sensor range. It's not responding to hails. Walker looked at the tactical display. The ship was large, its design unfamiliar. Could be more wounded coming. Could be, Thomas agreed, but her expression was worried. But in my experience, ships that don't answer hails aren't usually bringing good news. The Mercy continued its work, its red cross glowing bright against the darkness of space, as the mysterious ship drew slowly closer. In the medical bays below, Walker's team treated patient after patient, unaware that they were about to face a challenge that would change the galaxy's understanding of humanity forever. The mystery ship finally dropped its stealth field, revealing its true size. It was massive, at least 3 times larger than the Mercy, with weapon ports clearly visible along its dark hull. The ship's design was angular and threatening, like a predator ready to strike. Dominion warship, Officer Reed announced, his voice tight. Everyone on the bridge knew what that meant. The Dominion was feared across the galaxy for their brutal tactics and complete disregard for galactic law. "They're hailing us," Thomas said. She straightened her uniform. "Put them on screen." The view screen flickered to life, showing a tall figure in black armor. Its helmet had no visible eye slots, just a smooth, reflective surface that mirrored back their own worried faces. "Hospital ship." The figure's voice was artificially deep. "You are harboring enemies of the Dominion. Surrender them immediately." Captain Thomas kept her voice steady. "This is Captain Linda Thomas of the HFY Mercy. We are a neutral medical vessel treating wounded from all sides. Under Article 7 of the Galactic Medical Convention, we cannot and will not discriminate between patients." Dr. Walker stood silently beside the captain's chair, watching the exchange. In the medical bay below, his team continued working, unaware of the danger above. The Dominion commander's helmet tilted slightly. "Your human laws mean nothing to us. You will surrender the following patients." A list of names and species appeared on a secondary screen. Walker recognized several. They were some of the most seriously wounded. "Moving those patients now would kill them." Walker spoke up. "Surely even the Dominion respects basic medical ethics." "You have 10 minutes to comply," the commander replied, ignoring Walker's words. "Or we will take them by force." The screen went dark. Thomas immediately activated the ship-wide alert system. "All personnel, this is the captain. Prepare for possible hostile action. Medical staff, secure all patients. This is not a drill." Walker was already moving. "I'll get my people ready for emergency protocols." "Doctor," Thomas called after him, "if they board us, they'll have to go through us to reach our patients," Walker finished. The medical bays were organized chaos when Walker arrived. Nurses and doctors were moving critical patients to the most secure inner wards, while others prepared emergency supplies. In Ward 4, the scaled alien and the metallic being who had argued earlier were helping staff move other patients. Their own injuries seemed forgotten in the crisis. "Your people would risk war with the Dominion to protect us," the metallic being asked Walker as he passed. Before Walker could answer, the ship shuddered. Above them, the Dominion commander's voice boomed through all channels. "This is your final warning. Surrender our targets or be destroyed." Captain Thomas's response was immediate and clear. "This is a hospital ship. We will not abandon our duty to our patients. Any attack on us is a violation of galactic law and an act of war." The first shot from the Dominion ship hit the Mercy's shields like a thunderbolt. Warning alarms blared throughout the ship. In the medical bay, equipment shook, but the staff kept working, securing patients and preparing for casualties. "Shields at 80%. Reed reported on the bridge. They're using low-power shots. They want to disable us, not destroy us." Thomas gripped her chair arms. "They think we're defenseless. That we're just a simple hospital ship." Another hit rocked the ship. In the medical bay, Walker watched as his staff stayed at their posts, protecting their patients. He thought about all the wounded they'd treated over the years, all the different species they'd learned to heal, all the knowledge they'd gained. "Captain," he called through his comm unit, "activate Protocol 0. There was a pause before Thomas responded. "You're sure?" Walker looked at his patients, beings from a dozen worlds, all under human protection. "They forced our hand. Show them why you don't attack a human hospital ship." Thomas's voice carried a hint of grim satisfaction. "Initiating Protocol 0. May God help the Dominion, because we're about to show them humanity's real power. Protocol Zero transformed the UHS Mercy in seconds. Hidden panels along the ship's hull slid open, revealing weapon ports that had been invisible moments before. The ship's peaceful white exterior shifted as adaptive armor plates emerged, changing the hospital ship's appearance from a gentle healer to a protected fortress. On the Dominion vessel's bridge, the commander watched in surprise as his tactical display lit up with new warnings. The simple hospital ship was now registering as a heavily armed vessel. Captain Thomas opened a channel to the Dominion ship. "This is your only warning. Remove your vessel from this sector immediately." The Dominion commander's response was to fire another volley. The shot struck the Mercy's new armor and dissipated harmlessly. "Their weapons are having no effect, Captain," Reed reported, a hint of pride in his voice. "Our adaptive shielding is redirecting their energy attacks." Dr. Walker stood on the bridge, watching the transformation. Years of treating plasma burns and energy weapon injuries had taught them how to defend against such attacks. Every patient they had healed had also taught them something about the weapons that had hurt them. "Launch medical drones," Thomas ordered. Hundreds of small, white drones emerged from the Mercy's sides. Each carried the Red Cross symbol. The Dominion ship targeted them, but the drones easily avoided the attacks. "What are those things?" the Dominion commander demanded over the open channel. "The same drones we use to deliver medical aid," Walker answered. "But today, they're delivering something else." The drones surrounded the Dominion ship. Instead of weapons, they released clouds of microscopic medical nanites, the same ones used to heal internal injuries, but reprogrammed for a different purpose. The nanites swarmed over the Dominion ship's hull, finding every tiny crack and weakness. "Our ship's systems are failing," they heard the Dominion crew reporting in the background. "The weapons are shutting down. Life support is being redirected." But the real surprise came next. Space itself seemed to ripple as dozens of ships appeared around the Mercy. They had been there all along, hidden by advanced stealth technology. Each one bore Earth's insignia, but these were clearly warships. "This is Admiral Marcus Cole of the Earth Defense Fleet," a new voice announced on all channels. "The Dominion vessel is now surrounded. Your ship has been partially disabled by our medical technology. Surrender, and we will ensure your crew's safety." The Dominion commander's voice shook with rage. "Impossible. Earth has no war fleet. You are known as healers, not warriors." "We are both," Thomas replied. "Every injury we treated taught us how to prevent it. Every wound showed us how to stop the weapon that caused it. We built this fleet not to conquer, but to protect." Walker stepped forward. "Your weapons can't hurt us because we've healed every kind of damage they can cause. We know exactly how your technology works because we've saved the people it harmed." The Dominion ship hung powerless in space, surrounded by Earth's hidden fleet and swarmed by medical drones. Its weapons were offline, its engines disabled by nanites that had learned to heal machine damage just as well as biological wounds. "Surrender," Admiral Cole repeated, "and we will show you the same mercy we show all our patients." In the medical bay below, the patients watched through viewing screens as humanity revealed its true strength. The scaled alien turned to the metallic being next to him. "Now we know," it said softly, "why humans never fought back before. They were learning, healing, preparing." The metallic being's surface rippled in agreement. They were not retreating from battles. They were advancing in a different way. On the bridge, Walker watched as the Dominion ship finally powered down, surrendering to the combined medical and military might of Earth. The secret was out now. Humanity had built its strength not through aggression, but through healing. And now, the galaxy would never be the same. Admiral Cole's flagship, the EDF Protector, docked with the Mercy an hour after the Dominion's surrender. The Admiral was a tall man with gray hair and kind eyes that seemed at odds with his military uniform. Dr. Walker and Captain Thomas met him in the main conference room. "Fine work with those medical nanites," Cole said, shaking Walker's hand. "The Dominion never saw it coming. They didn't expect a hospital ship to fight back. Thomas added, "None of them ever do." Through the conference room window, they could see Earth ships surrounding the disabled Dominion vessel. The medical drones still hovered around it, their Red Cross symbols now seeming more like a warning than a promise of help. "How many hospital ships?" Walker asked quietly. "How many are like the Mercy?" "All of them," Cole answered. "Every hospital ship Earth has launched in the past 15 years is part of the program. We call it the Guardian Initiative." Thomas brought up a holographic display showing a map of known space. Dozens of points of light marked the locations of Earth's hospital ships. While everyone thought we were just being peaceful healers, we were building the largest intelligence network in the galaxy. "But the medical mission was real," Walker said firmly. "Every life we saved, every patient we treated. That wasn't a cover story." Cole nodded. "That's what makes it brilliant. We helped everyone who needed it, genuine humanitarian aid. But every time we healed plasma burns, we learned how to counter plasma weapons. Every time we treated radiation poisoning, we understood more about reactor technology." The Admiral walked to the window, watching as more Earth ships decloaked. "Other species fight wars to learn about their enemies. We helped people and learned far more than combat could ever teach us." In the medical bay, Walker's team was treating injured crew members from the Dominion ship. The enemy soldiers lay quietly on their beds, watching with confusion as human doctors helped them with the same care they showed all patients. One Dominion officer, their helmet now removed to reveal gray, scaled skin, spoke up as Walker checked their injuries. "Your weapons, they were medical tools." "Modified versions, yes," Walker explained, applying a healing patch. "The nanites that disabled your ship. We developed them to repair internal injuries. The shields that block your weapons, designed from studying how different species heal from energy burns." "But why help us now?" the officer asked. "We attacked you." Walker adjusted the medical scanner. "Because that's what we do. Medicine isn't about who's right or wrong, friend or enemy. It's about helping those who need it." Back in the conference room, Admiral Cole was explaining the larger strategy to Captain Thomas. "Earth's colonies weren't driven away last year. We deliberately withdrew them, making other species think we were weak. All while our hospital ships gathered intelligence and developed countermeasures. The Dominion attacking us today wasn't an accident," Thomas realized. "We knew they wouldn't be able to resist targeting a seemingly helpless hospital ship. We needed them to expose themselves," Cole confirmed. "Now we can protect medical neutrality across the galaxy. No more attacks on hospital ships. Not Earth's, not anyone's." Walker returned to the bridge, where the tactical display showed more Earth ships arriving. Each one had been hidden in plain sight, disguised as research vessels, cargo ships, or space stations. Years of preparation, all revealed because the Dominion couldn't resist attacking the hospital ship. "Doctor," Thomas called out, "the Dominion commander is asking to speak with you." Walker straightened his medical coat. "Put them through." The commander's image appeared, their reflective helmet now removed. "Your people. All this time, you were preparing for war." "No," Walker corrected. "We were preparing to prevent war. There's a difference. Today proved that sometimes the best way to help people is to be strong enough that no one dares harm them." The commander was silent for a moment. "We underestimated humanity." "No," Walker said, looking at the Red Cross symbol on his sleeve. "You underestimated kindness. That was your real mistake." The Dominion wasn't ready to surrender without a fight. 3 more of their warships jumped into the system, responding to their trapped companions' distress signal. They were larger than the first ship, their black hulls bristling with weapons. Dr. Walker watched from the Mercy's bridge as Admiral Cole coordinated Earth's response. The Admiral seemed calm, almost as if he had expected this. "Doctor," Cole called out, "would you explain to our guests what they're facing?" Walker stepped forward, opening a channel to all ships. "Dominion vessels, be advised. We have treated victims of your weapons for 15 years. We know exactly how your technology works, and more importantly, how to stop it." The lead Dominion ship fired anyway. Their energy weapons, powerful enough to crack planets, lanced out toward Earth's fleet, but the attacks splashed harmlessly against the ship's shields. "Fascinating, isn't it?" Walker continued. "Those shields were developed from studying how crystalline species heal from energy impacts. Their bodies taught us how to absorb and redirect power." Admiral Cole gave a command, and Earth's ships moved into formation. They were smaller than the Dominion vessels, but their movements were precise, coordinated. Each ship's hull was covered in the same adaptive armor as the Mercy, shifting and changing to match any threat. "Launch medical interceptors," Cole ordered. Smaller ships shot out from the Earth vessels. They looked like emergency response craft, but their purpose today was different. As the Dominion ships fired again, the interceptors moved to catch the attacks, their hulls glowing as they absorbed the energy. "Those interceptors," Walker explained to the watching aliens, "used the same technology we developed to treat radiation poisoning. They don't just block your weapons, they feed on them." In the medical bay, patients gathered around viewing screens to watch the battle. The scaled alien turned to his metallic companion. "Look at how they move. Each ship covers the others, like cells in an immune system." The metallic being's surface rippled in understanding. "They fight like they heal, protecting, adapting, working together." The Dominion ships tried to retreat, but found themselves trapped by a field of modified medical nanites. The microscopic machines had spread through space, creating an invisible net. "Those nanites," Walker's voice carried a note of professional pride. "We originally made them to repair damaged blood vessels. Now they can stop your engines just as easily. Every patient we ever treated helped us understand how to do this." The largest Dominion ship turned its main weapon toward the Mercy. "You are still a hospital ship," their commander threatened. "Your primary purpose is healing. You cannot risk your patients." Captain Thomas smiled. "Scan us again. While we've been talking, we've evacuated all critical patients to sheltered areas. And our hull," she nodded to Reed. The Mercy's white surface rippled, panels shifting to reveal more advanced technology than any hospital ship should have. The Red Cross remained prominent, but now it seemed to glow with inner power. "The ultimate defense," Walker explained, "based on every medical breakthrough we've ever made. Your weapons can't harm what they can't understand, and we understand healing better than anyone in the galaxy." The Dominion ships fired everything they had. Energy beams, plasma torpedoes, radiation bursts, all weapons that had once terrorized the galaxy. But Earth's ships caught or absorbed each attack, growing stronger with each impact. "Now," Cole ordered, "show them what medicine can really do." Earth's fleet moved as one. The medical interceptors released stored energy in precise bursts, targeting weapon systems and engines. Modified nanites swarmed through hull breaches, disabling systems from within. Each shot was surgical, precise, like a doctor's scalpel rather than a warrior's blade. In minutes, it was over. The mighty Dominion warships hung powerless in space, their crews watching in shock as the hospital ship and its escorts demonstrated just how much humanity had learned from years of healing the galaxy's wounds. 1 week after the battle, the UHS Mercy had returned to its primary mission. The medical bays were full again, but this time with a mix of injured Dominion soldiers alongside their previous patients. Dr. Walker moved between the beds, checking on each patient regardless of their origin. "I don't understand," a Dominion officer said as Walker treated his injuries. "You could have destroyed our ships. Why didn't you?" Walker adjusted the healing nanites working on the officer's wound. "Because that's not who we are. Earth's fleet exists to protect, not destroy. Just like these nanites, they can disable a warship, but their real purpose is to heal." In orbit above them, Earth's fleet maintained a protective formation. The ships were no longer hidden. Their presence now served as both a warning and a promise. Admiral Cole had made it clear, any attack on any hospital ship, from any species would be met with the full response of Earth's medical military force. Captain Thomas stood on the Mercy's bridge, speaking with representatives from dozens of worlds through holographic displays. The news of Earth's capabilities had spread quickly through the galaxy. "Your hospital ships are welcome in our space," a crystalline being announced. "We understand now. Every patient you treated was also protecting us." The metallic being from the ward spoke next, its surface patterns showing respect. "Our people request Earth's help in establishing our own medical ships. We wish to learn your ways of healing." Thomas looked at Walker, who nodded. "We'll share our medical knowledge freely," she said. "That was always our intention. But remember, attacking healers is now the most dangerous thing you can do in this galaxy." In his private office, Walker reviewed the files of every patient they had ever treated. Each case had taught them something valuable, not just about healing, but about protection. A plasma burn had led to better shields. A genetic disorder had helped them understand how to adapt and change their ship's hull plating. Every injury had made them stronger. Admiral Cole joined him, looking at the medical records. "The Dominion has agreed to a formal surrender. More than that, they're asking for our help in converting some of their warships into hospital ships." Walker smiled. "From weapons of war to instruments of healing. That's a good change. Earth's hospital ships will be leading the way," Cole confirmed. "The Mercy will train the first group of their medical officers. Every species that wants to learn healing will have our support." Through the office window, they could see Earth's fleet. The ships no longer hid their true nature. Each one proudly displayed both military strength and medical capability. The Red Cross symbol had become something new, a sign that healing and protection went hand in hand. In the medical bay, the scaled alien and the metallic being were preparing to leave. Their injuries had healed, and they had learned much during their stay. Before leaving, they stopped by Walker's office. "Our peoples were enemies," the scaled one said. "But after seeing how humans combine healing with strength, we understand there's a better way." The metallic being's surface showed patterns of agreement. "We will tell others what we learned here. That the strongest shields are built from knowledge of healing, not weapons of war." As the Mercy continued its mission, now under the protection of Earth's revealed fleet, Walker thought about how everything had changed. The galaxy had seen that humanity's greatest strength wasn't in hiding their power, but in how they chose to use it. "Ready for rounds, Doctor?" Thomas asked from the doorway. Walker picked up his medical scanner, the same technology that could disable a warship or heal a dying patient. "Always ready, Captain. We have patients to heal, and a galaxy to protect." Through the windows of the Mercy, stars stretched endlessly into space. Somewhere out there, other hospital ships were continuing their missions, each one now recognized not just as a place of healing, but as a symbol of humanity's true power, the power to protect life itself. The Red Cross glowed brightly on the Mercy's hull, no longer just a symbol of healing, but a reminder to the galaxy. Those who dedicate themselves to saving lives had become the most powerful force among the stars.